What's up, guys? Wanted to bring you some info, this time about a thermal optic. Going to be talking to you about the AGM Python TS50 Micro. I'm not going to call this so much of a review because this is my first foray into thermal optics, and as such I don't have much of a comparison base to talk about it in terms of other optics. But I'm just going to talk to you about a couple of the issues I've had with this, and then also cut in some footage so you can see what it looks like looking through this. I'm filming this in February of 2020. If you're watching this a year from now, I hope that some of these issues have maybe been worked out. I think a lot of my some of the problems that I had are just because AGM is a newer company. They were founded by guys who've been in the industry for a long time, but under the AGM name, they're fairly new. So hopefully some of these kinks get worked out in the future, but I can't say it's been a flawless optic for me. First off, though, we're going to cut in some footage here. I'm going to show you what it looks like looking down the lens. So this is just kind of looking around my neighborhood at night. The house at the far end is 250 yards away. That's about 100, and then this one's closer to 50. Here I'm kind of playing with the magnification, or excuse me, not the magnification, the focus. So if you see it coming in and out of focus, that's my doing. And I should have had this mounted on a tripod for you. But scanning across the street, see some cars, whatever. A little rabbit there. That guy, I went out and lasered to that spot, and it was right around 30 yards to that rabbit. So for reference, that's kind of what you're looking at there. And just scanning around. Like I said, I don't have any previous experience with thermal, so I can't really compare it to anything. But I have been fairly happy with the clarity of this, with the clarity in the image picture. Getting back that house around 250 at the far side. All right, so there we go. First off, if you're getting this optic, the best thing I can recommend is grab the Bobro QD mount. It's an excellent little mount. Costs around 140 bucks, I believe. And the mount that ships with the AGM is just not good. I've heard a lot of complaints about it coming loose. It doesn't return to zero well. So do yourself a favor, pick up the Bobro QD mount. My first time taking it out, I just took it to an indoor range and put up a thermal target. I was able to zero it pretty effectively, and then turned the unit on and off a couple times, cycled through some different modes, took it off my rifle, put it back on, took it off, put it back on, and the return to zero was really good with that Bobro mount. So when I got this in January last month, they had just released the onboard recording and the Wi-Fi feature. So this is a new feature for the TS50 Micros. The ones that were released in 2019 did not have onboard recording or the Wi-Fi feature. So my issues with them started with that. There's no instruction, or in the instruction manual, there's no mention about the onboard recording or the Wi-Fi. No extra sheet telling you how to do it, so I had to get in touch with the customer service and be like, yo, how do I do this? Because I wasn't able to figure out what the app I needed was, anything like that. The first time I contacted them, they were pretty quick to get back to me. They emailed me instructions on how to do it. I'm hoping that for future units that they send out, that they do include some instructions, because it's not very intuitive, or at least in my mind it wasn't. But like I said, I'm new to thermal. I'm going to include another cut-in of the app that you use. It's called Cam 802, and if you have an Android, it's not found in the Android Play Store. I believe the iPhone version is, but it's kind of a, you get it from somewhat of a janky website. The app does feel very Gen 1-ish, but it works most of the time, does its job. I did notice the Wi-Fi range is pretty short, so you pretty much have to keep your phone on your person. I was taking this out hunting with a buddy, and I was standing around, I don't know, even about 10 feet away, and if I was trying to watch on my phone through the Wi-Fi, it gets pretty pixelated. You can't see what's going on unless you're using your phone real close to the unit. No instructions there. The last one I had issue with is the onboard recording. So I can get the recording to work. I'll see in the top left corner where it's blinking and counting the seconds and showing that red recording dot. But I have not been able to upload it to my computer. I've contacted AGM. They've confirmed the instructions that I'm following are the correct ones. I tried on a different computer, so I've got both a Mac and a PC. I've tried on both. I even had a buddy over, and he was looking at it, just making sure that I'm not boneheading it and there's something simple I'm missing. But when I hook the device up by the little mini USB port, hook it into the computer, have the device on and the Wi-Fi on, which is a requirement for it to work, it just doesn't show up underneath my computer. There's no pop-up showing an external drive. I don't know what the issue was with it. And so my last gripe is I've contacted AGM, and now it's been over 5 days now, a little over 5 days. I contacted them, haven't heard anything back. I said, I'm not able to do this. What's going on? I gave them my info. They took down my name, said that someone would be getting back to me. Still haven't heard anything. And so the customer service, I don't know. I don't feel like that they're bad people or not willing to work with you. I more just get the feeling that it's a new shop and they've got a lot of issues, and I just don't have the manpower to keep up right now. So I'm really hopeful for AGM. I'm not trying to trash them, but hopeful that they're able to get this worked out, and that their devices in the future work better, because it's a nifty little device, fairly small as far as thermals go, pretty good image quality, but there's just a lot of, it feels very Gen 1-ish, and there's still some issues that need to be worked out. So I do want to give a shout out to Bruce from Night Vision Universe. When I haven't heard back from AGM, yesterday I reached out to him, told him the issues I was having. He said, no problem, man, send it back to me. I'll deal with their customer service, and he's going to get me worked out and then possibly into another thermal. So I would say just if you get from AGM, buy through a reputable dealer who's going to have your back. And if you do have some of these issues that I'm having, the dealer is going to be able to work with their customer service and has a little more pull to get things done. So that's all I have to say. I really hope that AGM stuff works in the future, maybe better, and this is just a sample size of one. I've talked to other guys who haven't had the issues that I've had with the internal recording and such, but as of right now, I just would say it needs a little more time in the market before I can ever consider buying another AGM product. So if you're watching this in the future, hopefully that's changed. Hopefully stuff's improved, and that's pretty much all I've got. This is a week after I originally filmed the first video, and still haven't heard anything from customer service. So it's been 2 weeks now. Both a email was sent and then a call in which I left a message, gave them my name and number to the secretary. Never heard back from either of them. And that's really going to be what kind of kills AGM for me. A lot of the new, Gen 1 type issues, I get it, and I can forgive that if the customer service is there. But when you're dropping a lot of money on an electronic device, you really want the customer service to back it up. I even talked to another dealer online, and he was saying that he was no longer dealing with, or no longer selling AGM products just because of customer service issues. So some of the issues I described with the electronics, the recording, stuff like that, I talked to other people. They weren't having those issues, so I may have just gotten a lemon. But the customer service, it sounds like it is a issue across the board. So I would think long and hard before I gave them my money. And like I said, I didn't come here to trash AGM, but when you're dropping that kind of money and not getting a response from customer service when you have an issue, it's a big deal. One other thing that I neglected to mention was the joystick. It does have a joystick control. If you are a coyote hunter or hunting in the cold with gloves, that joystick is a little hard to manipulate. At times you gotta click the joystick instead of going up, down, left, right. You're actually physically clicking the same way you click a mouse. I found that pretty hard to do with gloves without accidentally going up, down, left, or right, moving the joystick somewhat. But the menu system overall was decently intuitive, wasn't too hard to learn. That's what I got, guys. See ya.